Hey, I got one viewer. Who's hanging out with me? Welcome to the stream. Just getting set up here, sending out some tweets, and we'll go ahead and do part 2 of the Lego Voltron build. Just tweeted a picture of what I've got sitting here on the table already, with the blue lion, the yellow lion, and part of the black lion completed. Tagging people. Joe Mike is pretty into Lego too. Oh, 0 viewers again. Look at that. Looks like we're going to get some of that black lion's head done. All right. And now that I think about it, oops, just made a mess out of that. Now that I think about it, I need to get a plastic lunch bag for all the little spare parts, because this kit has a lot of little parts and a lot of spares. So hopefully I get some viewers in here pretty soon. It's still, it's almost midday on Sunday. Time flies, I guess. And get all these spare parts from previous sections of the build thrown into a bag. And now we're on part bag 10, starting off the second half of the black lion. I guess the back portion with the wings and the tail and the head. Cap that one off. And there's the tail. That gets strapped right on to the back of the black lion there. And of course folds up when not in use, when transformed. Okay, so gray disc, a light gray cap, and we'll do 2 of those, it looks like. Slide those on there. Ooh, that's strong. And these, I believe, are going to be the anchors for the wings. Get some of these parts spread out. Alright, got those in. Now let's see about anchoring those. Oh yeah. And those are some friction joints we built earlier into the back, so that they do allow movement, but they've got a good amount of friction on them so that when you do pose it, when you pose the wings, they'll stay in place wherever you put them. So that's cool. Okay, and those will go right on top. And get to cover the section with the white and yellow, get to cover that with a black plate. All right, so this is actually the number plate for the Black Lion, which almost looks a bit like a telephone. And we'll get the decal sheet out. And that goes right up there. Okay. How's it going? No viewers at the moment. And now we're moving on to building the head. And some of these black pieces blend into the black table so well, but I can't find them. So there's a gray piece that'll go with it. And yeah, that is a little black 2x1 piece. There it is. Snap that right on top. Get some brackets on there. Now I need a long and a couple of these red pieces here. Long blue post goes through the two red pieces. Get those secured, and that'll act as an anchor point, attachment point later. Ah, coffee. So good. Coffee and pistachios, interesting breakfast combination. Ooh, and I believe these might be the eyes. Lion's eyes, at least. No, they're actually the robot eyes. The humanoid robot side eyes. Gosh, lots of little detail pieces in this thing. Get in all the way there. Okay, let's get those pieces mounted on. Hey, I got another viewer. Who is in chat? Speak up, type something, introduce yourself, say hi. Maybe that's just my wife. Oh, whoever's in chat. My name is Duo. I do all sorts of things like 3D printing, electronics, and Legos as a hobby. And this is my Lego Voltron build today. Boy, there are a lot of little pieces in this thing. We're working on the Black Lion for the Voltron build. And the Black Lion is the largest piece out of the whole thing, so it's got quite a few bags. It was 5 bags worth of parts just for that one. And let's see. And there is a custom mouthpiece. It's got a little mouth and chin there. So that now there's the assembled Voltron head that will go inside the lion's mouth. Okay, now we get to set that one aside for the moment and start working on the rest of the head pieces. Maybe if I put the piece on the right direction, it will connect. If you want. Are you watching?
Yeah, I'm the one in there.
The one.
I don't know if it's recording correctly.
It's a little laggy when it reports viewers. There are some better tools for monitoring your viewers and your subscriptions that will pop up notifications pretty quick, but yeah, at the moment I don't have a whole lot of stuff set up for the stream. Yeah, this is the lion muzzle portion of the lion's face, the lion's head. You can see the nose and like the top fangs. And the nose, like all the rest of the lions, is a metallic silver shiny piece. And we'll set that piece aside and start working on some other component of it. And now there's the top portion of the head with the eyes. Pretty cool and aggressive looking. We'll set that one aside. Let's work on the other components for that. Let's see. And we'll get a couple of pegs into the side of that. And these black tabs just on the sides there. And then we take the head, flip it over, and it goes right on the back there. This is the mechanism that allows the lion's head to flip up and the VOLTRON head to flip down. And now we get to do the golden ears, the ear pieces. That's kind of neat. One of those. Hey, do I have another viewer here on the stream? Say hi, introduce yourself in chat. My name is Duo. I do 3D printing and electronics projects and all sorts of other little things. Today I'm doing a Lego build, the Lego Ideas VOLTRON set. And we've already got the yellow lion and the blue lion, which are the legs on VOLTRON, done, and now we're working on the black lion. Which, black lion's quite a few bags worth. And there's the black lion with the ears, the gold ears. All right, so we get this set up, and looks like we need to mate these two parts together. And they go this direction for the moment. And angle that right on the back. And that's the head and neck assembly. And of course, the whole thing rotates. And pops out, and you get the whole VOLTRON head. That looks pretty cool. So hi to everybody that's joining in. Everybody. The second person that's joining in. And that pops right in place. So that's the body, front legs, head, and tail. I'll get the rear legs going here, and actually it looks like the wings are next, the wings that sit on top. Yep, both wings, okay. Hey, Bent, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, man. This is day 2 of the VOLTRON build. And boy, the VOLTRON is huge. Like these lions are just gigantic. It weighs a ton too. The black lion is almost solid plastic all the way through. I was having problems with OBS last night. And let's see, well, last 2 weekends off for the next 4 months. Off could be good or not. Depends on your situation, I guess. I was going to stream last night and had so many problems with OBS. It turned out that the NVIDIA, or actually the AMD graphics drivers that I had, after they installed, they did not get properly utilized by Windows, and Windows said, hey, I'm just going to use the built-in default AMD drivers, which have no acceleration on them whatsoever. And of course, OBS was like, hey, there's no encoding available. It took me a couple hours to figure out that one. And then I eventually did stream later on in the evening. Oops, that's not right. It's the short one. Yeah. And last night I got blue and yellow lions done and started on the black lion, but it was getting pretty late. So get some of this stuff put together for the wings. And I'll be working 6 days a week. We're 65 days behind on a project. Ouch. That is rough. And these little connecting rods here we'll use for the folding mechanism on the wings. So get the rest of the wings built. Okay, so lots of little red pieces. So what are you doing on your Sunday, Bent? Are you just hanging out watching streams, or 3D printing anything?
Yeah, quality's improving. I'm gonna edit it. We've got yellow right now.
And hey, it looks like the air quality is getting better up here in Seattle a little bit. Finally got the door open. So that's kind of nice. Get some fresh air in here. Although it's probably going to raise the noise floor a little bit. Ah, coffee. Coffee from a Starbucks mug, and it's not Starbucks coffee. All right, get some pegs up for that one. Looks like we've got another wing section. It's going to fold up. Okay, let's see. And they want us to pretty it up a bit. Make it all nice and smooth there, and made it up with our previous piece. And pop another joint right on the side there. And that gives it that folding ability. And now we flip that one over. Pop a gray piece right on there, and a cap. Pop a cap right on your ass. Hey, looks like I got another viewer popping in. Hey, we just started the project like a week ago. Like, how can we be 65 days behind? Yeah, it's because management promises things, and then, you know, they don't plan out correctly. Just watching streams, and yeah, same about smoke. We were finally a 3 when we were 7 for like 2 weeks. Yeah, it's the monitor, the air quality monitor we have here has color coding, and it's green, yellow, red, and purple. It was purple a little while, and then it was red off and on. We were going back and forth between red and yellow. Thank you, Beth. There's a link. It's not so bad now. All right, so we get to attach this wing. Oh, that fits in there really nicely. And the wings are on these friction pivots that we previously built into the body. And you can see how those are coming along. This VOLTRON build is super detailed. It's just really, really nice. It's one of the more impressive kits that LEGO has put out. And it was a LEGO Ideas. Yeah, we were in the worst one for you guys for 2 weeks. Yeah, thankfully we weren't that bad. Most of the fires in Washington, California, and Vancouver were to the east, or at least we were slightly west of the airflow. And then somebody set a fire out to the west in the Olympic Mountains, and that one just literally came right across the sound and just covered Seattle. And then they thought they defeated it, and it flared up again and totally made, I mean, it was like, oh, it's all shitty air for like an entire week, and can't really go outside, can't open the windows. And then it let up for like a day or two, and we thought that was over with, and then it just slammed right back on. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get through the left wing, which is I think same build as the right wing. It's going to be a mirror build. Nice and easy. And get the pegs in there for the hinge. Get in your hole. There you go. And then one of the actual hinges will go on and wait for the next piece, which I've got right here. And this bag 10 was pretty quick. Just the head and the wings and the tail piece on the Black Lion. All right, so we'll go this way, this way, this way. Get the hinges on there. And the posts for the hinges. And then all the decoration. Little white accent and these nice flat red panels. Make the wing look a little cooler. And then we can go ahead and attach that wing right up. Pop the other hinge on. Turn the page. And the last thing is the actual anchor piece that the post goes into for the wing. And now we can pop this guy right on. And there's the two wings. If we flip it over, we can do the whole rotate out for the robot mode for the wings on Voltron there. That looks pretty cool, and they stay in place because of the nice friction locks we built, the little friction hinges. Or of course in the Lion mode. And it weighs a ton, just so cool. And now we've got some spare pieces, all the little spare bits. They always include extras for all the little tiny single pieces because they disappear quite easy. In fact, you can see I'm around halfway through the build and I've already got, you know, a handful of the spare mini bits. For those just joining who may not have been on the stream last night, there's the Blue Lion and the Yellow Lion are both the legs on Voltron. And they transform pretty easily into the legs. You pop the tail down, the actual entire head unit pops out and rotates and then locks into place. And then you fold up the legs. How do those legs fold up? Oh yeah, they fold back. So the legs fold back and you end up with a leg and a foot, and there's actually a heel piece that sticks out pretty far and a rubber tire on the bottom used as an actual brace. So when the lion sits, the leg actually sits down, it's stable and it's actually got a little bit of friction on the bottom to help it from sliding around. So that's pretty neat. Okay, yeah, so now that we've got the wings done, they want us to move on to bag 11. And bag 11's got the back legs for the Black Lion. 12, 13, 14, 15, there's like 16 bags, so being on bag 11 is not too bad. Get some of that stuff split up. And the small parts bag poured out on the side. No extra parts in there. I don't know if anybody watching has actually seen the box for this thing, but it's a pretty sizable box, and the Voltron on the printed on the front is actually life size for the entire thing, so it's pretty sizable. It doesn't come with any minifigs because it's not designed for any minifigs. Won't fit any microfigs. It's still a bit too small for microfigs to fit into the build. All right, let's see. Bag 11. We're going to do the left hind leg. Starting off with a couple brackets and a 3 brick. And another bracket. Let's see, and a long gray piece, so we'll get that in there. And a robust hinge, like a nice big fat hinge. Those are used in a lot of the modulars that open up or have pieces that open up. Those are pretty strong, large hinge piece. And that will go right out there, along with a little blue piece right there for some reason. And now we're going to tack that onto a large plate. Interesting. So there's a strange I guess that's a positioning piece. Oh, I see how this is. This is when Voltron is standing up and you have the legs installed, the legs are actually canted outward just a little bit because the legs are thick. The blue and yellow line are actually pretty wide, and without that little canter out, they'll touch. So this is kind of the mechanism for setting that up. Still got 3 viewers in chat. I hope it's not counting me as a viewer. Okay, so we got that, we got there. And there's a hinge piece for the lower leg that will go on later. Couple of these turquoise pieces, and this build uses these turquoise pieces for internal stuff. They're always hidden, buried inside the parts. And then a couple of the low profile black hinges. And a gray clip. There's a gray clip. Yeah, and the hinges that are on here too, they'll be used. There's these 2 smaller hinges that'll be used for like the actual lion leg, and then there's these 2 clips that help this clip into the actual blue and yellow lions on this side. There's the back section there on the blue lion. There's a hole for the black lion's foot to go in, and then clips on either side that are keyed, so they clip in and they allow a little bit of movement. Really detailed build on this. And start cleaning that up with some plates. So that's good. There's plate covering that section, plate covering that section, and this is a pretty It's a pretty solid build. And yet we're still going to build up more plates on it. Going to thicken the leg up substantially. And then also reinforce it with another hinge piece right on top. There you go. Yeah, really strong. And yet again, more reinforcement and building up. We're building a second level of all the stuff in the first section. It's going to be built up again. There's also going to be a second strut to reinforce the angled section on it. It's a pretty clever use of some of these pieces. And the blue pieces are the extra nubs around the actual brace. So there's material on either side of the brace as well as cap that'll go over both of them. Pretty darn cool. And now we're going to start building up the rest of the leg clip and everything that goes on top of that. And this leg is substantial. Interesting. Yeah, so it's actually color coded as well. I've got these pieces on the inside, these yellow pieces for this leg. Once it's covered with a plate, you won't be able to see it from the front, but you'll be able to look underneath where it connects to the lions, and there's a yellow indicator, so this leg would connect to the yellow lion. And I can actually test that out by looking on the back of the lion here, and sure enough, there's C-clips on the side and a regular joint on the left side, and those made up with the ones keyed on the back of the yellow lion. That is pretty cool. There is an awful lot of color coding done to help you actually correctly assemble a lion. Like for the black lion here, the shoulder portions, which will connect to the red and blue smaller lions, there's actually pieces on the inside that you can see that are blue on this side. And then on the opposite side, there's pieces that are red. So it's a good indicator, like you'll be able to completely put this together color coded. The sockets are color coded. And we'll pop that and flip it around so I can show you it's more of the robot style. And that's how the robot torso is coming together pretty well. It actually has shoulder joints that have friction gears in them, and they're super strong. So you'll be able to totally pose. It'll hold the weight of, you know, the red and green lions that go on the ends. We'll set that. And of course, if you're going to pose it like that, you got to put the tail in first. But that's okay. We'll deal with that later. So back to the leg. So yeah, the legs are color coded, and there's a blue one, a blue block that'll be used in the other leg. And we'll get this all built up and reinforced. Okay, got those pieces, got those pieces. Now we need a turquoise to help anchor up there. A gray one to anchor down here. And now we've got a blue plate, a gray bar, and 3 of these little shoulder plates that have connectors on the sides of them. They'll be used for covering later on. So I got those in place. Let's see. And now I need these plates. This is already instruction 244 out of this book, and it's pretty far along for the black lion. All right, flip you over. One of those there, one of those there, and a couple of these flat panel pieces, inverted flat panel pieces. And then some detail work on the sides. And these get capped off with this little golden disc on the side. That's on VOLTRON's hip, you know, eventually when it's in robot mode. And let's get these plates popped in to round off this gigantic hip portion. Make it look nice. And looks like we got all of that done. Now we got to flip the whole thing over again and cap off the other side. Looks like that's just going to be some angled pieces and a flat gray piece on top to round off that side. And then a flat piece right between there. So yeah, that looks good. That's the upper portion of the leg. Now it's going to have us put together the actual foot. There's a little foot plate with the claw piece. There's little claws on each of the lion's feet. And that's an assembled foot piece right there. And we got some more details to put on. And there's the black lion's rear leg and rear claw. And they have that kind of hunched down. When you actually will assemble the robot, the whole leg will essentially fold out like this and slide straight into the back of the leg lines. All right, so now we've got that leg done. I want us to pop it right on the back of the black lion. And that is stiff as hell. It's because it's actually on 3 posts. You know, there is one concession being made in transformability and keeping it actually looking nice. And for the black lion, when you switch between the separate lions mode and the robot mode, for the reconfiguration, you actually have to pop off all 4 legs of the black lion and rotate them either 180 or 90 degrees, depending on the leg. Which is not terrible. And they are posable. So yeah, there's at least the black lion with 3 legs. And now we'll get the 4th leg going right after I have some more coffee. All right, now time to go the other side. This should go pretty quick. It actually wasn't difficult to do that other leg. Put those 2 together. The brick on them, blue piece underneath, and another bracket. Where's my other bracket? In a sea of gray pieces. There it is. Right there, the other gray bracket. And pop that on. Pop that right on there. And that little light blue piece marks where the hinge portion will go. The hinge on there. Get the base plate going. These black socket pieces. The black pieces here actually have the holes in them, and those holes, when there are 2 of these black pieces stacked up, are what mate onto the side of the black lion. It's got pegs on the side. And now we need a black plate there. We need a clip on the opposite side because this is a mirror build of the other leg. CPU in there, and the brackets for the feet. And then plates to cover the whole thing. Is that right? And yeah, that looks about right. Get the plates on. Those are the first level. Thicken this up just a little bit for the next level. And then we're going to go on, put on the second row of attachment holes for the hip. And start building up the second section. Sitting here trying to decide if I want another Shield TV or that small Ryzen system. I have a Shield TV. I really like it. It works. I was actually using it to watch stuff yesterday. I have no problem using a Shield TV. It is a beefy little machine, and they just recently updated it to Android 8.0. The downside to the Shield TV is that the NVIDIA provided operating system updates for it are focused around being an Android TV device. So it has a very specific interface, and you kind of have to install custom app launchers if you want to use apps that are not part of the standard Android TV ecosystem. That being said, the machine just works and it plays media, and it's real easy to drop Kodi onto it. Drop Kodi onto it, and it's got like the version I have is just the basic one. It's got like 16 gigs of built-in system memory, and does not have the built-in hard drive because who needs the built-in hard drive?
Is it skipping Shield?
Yeah, that's a server issue. And now we're going on to the other hinge. And every now and then, like, video on it skips because the file server I have set up gets a little flaky. All in all, though, it's a nice, easy, more or less, it just works machine. Let's see. Okay, get more of the hinge stuff in. This is the blue indicator for the line that it connects to. Clip there. Bar across, so that is... Yes, 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 got those on. The anchor for that section. Got those on. I forget which launcher it was that I had installed on my Shield TV, but I mean it throws up its own menu and of course lists all the regular Android apps that you have installed on the device and just launches them like normal. So you can pretty much ignore the standard Android TV front end menu that it has. The Android 8.0 update that they just put out is like they redesigned the main interface again, and looks like there's actually more integration with the streaming services that are on the box, so that it can tell you, hey, this is what you were watching last, this is what you should watch next. You want to continue watching where you left off, without having to go into each individual app like Amazon Prime or Netflix or Hulu or whatever you got. Flip you over. Where's the flat panel pieces? You know, all in all, yeah, they took out the did they take out the reset option? I haven't dug into it that far yet. I only updated it the other day. I had actually not had it plugged into the TV for a little while, for actually almost 2 months since I got my Nintendo Switch. And I really like playing my Switch. So that kind of, you know, watching movies or other content on TV kind of fell by the wayside. And I was just playing Zelda Breath of the Wild an awful lot, which is a really fun game. Like, it is really, really frustrating when you start that game because you're just dying left and right as you figure out what not to do. And now that I've progressed in it pretty far, there's very few things that can kill me. Actually, there should still be the hard button option. If you hold the the touch sensitive power button on top of the machine for like 15 seconds or 20 seconds, it should still cycle on that button as well. If they pulled that out, they're breaking some basic system functionality. All right, so I got those in place. Now I'll flip this over. That piece goes there, and continue building up the rounded portions on the legs. There's the rounded piece. Definitely have to fire that up and make sure that at least the hard button hold down, and it's not like a quick button hold down like most Android phones are. You have to hold it down for a significant period. And as far as I remember on my Shield TV, it's always been, oh yeah, the one built into software. Yeah, that would be a pain in the ass. I haven't gone through all the settings for that yet. And we'll get the last bits of this foot put together. Oh, look at that. And we've got the foot. And the only leftover piece, of course, is one of the spare small bits, which is expected. And now we have the other foot set up. So now we can get the Black Lion, get the leg put on. And there is the completed Black Lion. And it weighs quite a bit too. It is super heavy. Hey, 4 viewers. I got another viewer on. Welcome, viewer. My name's Duo. This is my everything stream. I do 3D printing, electronics, and today I'm doing actual Lego, building the Lego Voltron from the Lego Ideas series. And, and of course, as soon as I do my little intro thing, OBS tells me I have lost 2 viewers. That's great. Hey, whatever works. So that was the end of the Black Lion book. And one of the cool things we can do is I can actually go ahead and transform the the yellow and blue lions, get their legs put up. Get that tail twisted around and put away, tucked away. And I can go ahead and start transforming. This is the only thing that is kind of crappy, is that you just have to pop the legs off, pop the arms off to change their position. But it would have been really difficult to do it with hinges in such a small space. Hinges that would at least have some friction. So get those out here. Fold Voltron, fold the black lion's tail up. Get the lion head down, and then we'll pop off the shoulder pieces, get those rotated around. And this does look really cool. Tuck the feet in. And now we've got the color coding on the bottom with the blue and the yellow. And the connectors for those. And we can slide the legs right in, click them into place, and oh, they click so solid. That's like, they stick really well. Now we'll get the blue lion. And click right in there, and that one, the blue lion's also like, it is really solid. So there we've got at least the first portions of Voltron going, and that is really cool. Yeah, my wife having occasional Netflix issues, think it's my ISP, not my router. Fiber can't get to me fast enough. Yeah, thankfully this location we picked to move into for our first place in Seattle has decent internet, at least for the moment. We can pay like hundreds of dollars a month if we want something close to gigabit, but we've got 250 megabit now, and it's not so bad. I do know that the router that I have, even though the hardware on the router is really nice, the built-in firmware on it sucks. And I just haven't had the opportunity to go through and put on one of the custom router firmwares and get everything set up, because that would be like at least an all-day project. So cool. And now we've got the next book in line is the red lion, which is the right arm. And those are in bags 12 and 13. So we'll get bag 12 going. Get that one all out. And push Voltron back just a little bit. And it's pretty stable too. The way they design the heels on the back definitely gives it a pretty strong. There's the heels on the back, and then there's the little rubber pieces underneath that are actually Lego wheels from just a car kit. And those provide enough friction to keep it from sliding around the table, at least. Very nice. Okay, red lion go. There are definitely a whole lot fewer pieces. These arm lions are a lot less substantial than the legs or the red lion's torso. Hey, my brother's Mario. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Lego's designers will never cease to amaze me. This is actually a Lego Ideas set, which came from a fan, a guy in Asia somewhere, don't remember where, came up with this design, built it, and submitted it to the Lego Ideas website. And the Lego Ideas website is essentially, it's a place where you can submit an idea, and other Lego enthusiasts who log into the site, like I have an account on there, my wife has an account on there, they can go in and vote for projects they think are really cool. And if they reach, I think it's 10,000 supporters within a certain time frame, and it's a long time frame too. I think it stretches out like a year and a half if at the maximum. If they reach the certain number of supporters, Lego will take the design into review, look at it, see if it's something that they can put together that's, that's something that they can actually sell, if it's popular enough, and if they can obtain the rights to actually sell the product. And they go through the whole product review process, and there are some really beautiful Lego Ideas sets that come out that were started off by a fan, and Lego produces them. The Lego VOLTRON kit came out like a month ago, 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, and it's Lego Ideas set number 22. We have some of the other Lego Ideas sets, like there's a fishing hut that's really cool, has some really cool detail, and also the Saturn V rocket, humongous Saturn V rocket, which I should really grab and show that on camera. This is the Saturn V rocket. It is huge, and every stage pops off and is detailed. Actually has, like, there's the third stage engine, second stage separates as well and has engines on the inside, and of course the big 5 F1 engines on the bottom. This thing it's solid. It's got a lot of structure. It's not something that's just going to fall apart in your hands. And I have on my display case the top section that's actually got the actual top section with the lunar lander module and the orbiter module. And this was an Ideas kit as well. There was also another Ideas kit suggested to go along with this that was actually the fully built launch pad that would actually support this whole thing. And unfortunately, a launch pad by itself is one of those kits where you're like, the kit doesn't stand on its own as a product without having to buy a separate kit. Whereas this rocket kit, it came with a couple of stands to hold it horizontally, so it's kind of nice. It stands on its own as a product. And Lego actually declined to make the whole launch pad gantry system. Hey, have you heard of the new network speeds coming? What new network speeds? Like internet network speeds, or like wire capability speeds? Because I know we've had 10 gig on copper for a little while, and I know that they were doing 100 and 1,000 in the lab on copper, which is crazy. Oh, so yeah, and there are, like, I have some of the other Lego Ideas sets. Some of them are large sets. Wire capable speeds in the new speeds are 2.5 gig and 5 gig. Yep. Yeah, actually, the fiber that we have available to this complex has a max speed of 3 gig. But I don't want to buy the router that. I don't want to pay for that router, and I don't want to pay for the monthly fee on that one. I don't need 3 gig. Just super expensive, super out there. But actually, the modem I have now will do the 3 gig speed, but only has a single 1 gig port on it, so it would be a moot point. The hardware inside just will do the 3 gig spec. Yeah, and also too, like my brother's Mario, one of the other Lego Ideas sets, it's a smaller set. It's actually the Tron light cycles from the Tron Legacy movie, the second Tron movie. And they're small. It's just got a couple of light cycles on a panel, and they look really cool. And it was a low-cost set. This one here, actually, I think was one of the first big Lego Ideas sets. It's Wally from the movie, and he's really detailed. Oop. And his neck articulates, but he's not. It's not meant to be held up at an angle. He opens up where he does the trash compactor stuff. His arms move around and slide out like they do in the movie character. There's actually a little tiny cockroach. It's kind of hard to see. It's made from just 2 pieces, like the cockroach in the movie, just a little tiny thing. The treads are fully functional. It's a really nice Wally kit, and that's another Lego Ideas set. Of course, if Lego can get the licensing and actually can work out a licensing deal with whatever company owns the IP, because Voltron obviously doesn't belong to Lego, Wally doesn't belong to Lego. So, they got to work stuff out like that. There's tons of reasons why an Ideas project cannot get approved. But every now and then, stuff goes through. And Voltron happened to be trending because of the new Netflix series. And of course, Netflix is like, yeah, let's go for it. More merch? We don't have to do anything? Oh, coffee. Coffee. So yeah, let's get the red line going here. Where was I? That's an interesting piece. I haven't seen a piece like that before. For the most part, through this Voltron build too, yeah, I was looking at a new 10 gig capable switch. Yeah, I have 1 gig hardware here. I do have some nice full-on dedicated 48 port, actually 52 port, 1 gig bidirectional per port. It's a full bandwidth switch. But honestly, it's way overkill for what we've got here at home. And if I had a modem that had multiple gig Ethernet ports on the back of it, then I could aggregate those and actually get more bandwidth out of it. But my PC has a couple of gig Ethernet ports that can totally aggregate, but I don't use it. I don't have a real need for it. 1 gig is plenty. All right, let's get the rest of this put together. I want to see this thing going. Yeah, and my brother's Mario, if you're still in there, if you're still listening, watching, go ahead and go onto the Lego website and check out their ideas section. There are some really cool ideas in it. There is one set that I want. It's a modular pizza. It's a building with a pizza joint on the bottom and arcades and an apartment on top to go with some of the rest of the buildings I have. And it's a really well designed. And I think Lego finally put it in review, which is cool because I would really like another one of those buildings. I've got a whole display shelf full of the Lego modular buildings. My wife and I really like those. They're just superb kits. All sorts of things on there. Yeah, my NAS does aggregation, so when I hammer it doesn't affect my wife, which is awesome. Yeah, quite honestly, the file server I have doesn't have a problem pumping out the single 1 gig port I have connected on it. We don't, I mean, I do backups every now and then, but honestly, most of the devices that do backups are not pumping out backup data fast enough to saturate the 1 gig line. All right, so that looks good, and that gets attached right on top. So this looks like actually the anchor piece, the 2 pegs here that will go into the shoulder. They plug into this wonderful friction shoulder section to attach the line there, so that you can actually rotate the entire arm and it'll stay in place. That's cool. And let's see, what else do we got? We'll build the rest of the line around that, it looks like, from the back forward. We will build this from the ass end up. Yeah, this set is absolutely well thought out. There are some concepts in it that are just like, oh, that's great. Oh, I never thought of that. You can do that with those pieces? Really cool. Okay, I'll get a couple of those pieces on. And that kind of looks like a base for a tailpiece. Nope, actually that goes the opposite direction. This is the hinge that goes in the mid body. It allows the lion to flex at the elbow, is what it would be, elbow / waist. Where are you? At least the temperatures have actually cooled down. It was kind of a huge pain when we had the smoke and the temperatures were high, so we don't have central air conditioning, we just have a little portable AC unit, and that still needs access to an open window to pump out all the hot air. Let's see, Lego ideas would be pretty great as a set. Let's see what this one is. Gravity Falls Mystery Shack. Yeah, see, there's things like that where, you know, it is kind of cool, but at the same time, the IP, the actual concept behind it is something that might not fit well in a toy set. It might not sell really well. They have to make the consideration that, hey, you know, will this sell? How many people are really interested in this? And you know, it's got 3,900 supporters so far, so that's not bad. Not bad at all. Is it a dual hose AC? It's a single hose AC portable. It just has a heated exhaust hose, and the hose is long enough, but it requires the whole unit is a stand-up unit. It's got wheels on it. It's pretty easy to roll for the most part, but you know, it only heats it only cools a single small room at a time. Like my little office, which is the second bedroom, it full blast, it takes a little while to cool off one of those rooms. It's not going to, like, if we put it here in the living room on full blast, it'll take a couple of hours to cool a room down. It's Washington. We don't historically have super hot segments of the year, and unfortunately that's changed a lot. It's getting a lot warmer up here. This summer was pretty warm. Last summer was really warm for a long period. Dual holes AC sucks in less air because it's more like a window unit. Yeah, this one, it sucks in all of its air from the inside. So, I mean, it does work fairly well. It's just, I mean, we got to deal with making sure that the window that we actually get the hose into is sealed correctly. And that's not always the easiest thing. Okay, so let me get these extra pieces on here. Yeah, that Lego Ideas site, that is really cool, Mario. We're registered as Lego VIP members, so we got a stupid little card that gives us points every time we buy Legos. And we use those points to buy more Legos. Which is not really bad. I mean, we do get a little bit of a discount on the Legos. It definitely encourages us to buy more, which is totally the point. But another thing that's cool about the Lego VIP programs, if you sign up for it, you get access to be able to buy some of these sets online like 2 weeks before they're available to anybody else. But we do have a Lego store in a mall about 20 minutes away, and we've got a lot of like first day release sets. Like I went down there when VOLTRON was released. The day it was released, went down there at lunch because it's really close to my office and just picked it up. Like they had a bunch of them in there. Still pretty early in the day, so nobody had actually got to the store yet. Although, interestingly enough, the day that I went down there to buy VOLTRON, there was a Lego event, a traveling Lego event in the mall that was, it's an American history event, which has just, oh gosh, I need to find pictures of that. All of like the national buildings that we have in Washington, D.C. and the Statue of Liberty and all those historic buildings and monuments that we have, they did them in Lego in giant scale. The Statue of Liberty was like 7 feet tall. They did the Supreme Court building inside and outside with all the detail, and you know, the Lincoln Memorial, all sorts of things. They did the full-on White House with both wings, all the detail on it. It looked great, and like there were a lot of people there just watching that, but there weren't a lot of people over in the actual Lego store itself. Which, yeah, that was a good thing for me, I guess. Okay, we'll flip this over and start plugging on the rest of the pieces here. Get this body solidified. And these pieces, they're well designed. They're rock solid when they're put together. Nope, not that piece. There we go. So there's essentially the hind section. There's a little clip where the tail will plug into, and then there's the center section hinge, which is kind of the waist elbow section. And that's got a couple of friction balls that are coming up on it. It's this yellow post and a couple of these little plastic balls that fit right on them. And those little plastic balls, they actually go into these pieces here, and they clip in pretty tight, so they do provide a strong amount of friction. And they're used in other pieces on the leg lions and both the black lion, also the black lion, just to provide friction for some parts. It's a really cool design. And of course, you know, over time, I'm sure they'll wear out, but you can just order more of the ball pieces, it'll wear out. Okay, so now that we got the back section done, we're going to move on to doing the front section. And get a plate on top of that. And a couple more pieces to thicken that up a bit. And this provides the right distance for both of these clamps that will attach to the ball. So what'll end up happening, like here's the rear section, here's the front section, those balls, or those clamps will clamp on just like that. And it is pretty stiff, but still flexible at the same time. So there's an elbow hinge, elbow/waist. Oop, come on, pop out. Ugh, there it goes. So let's build up the rest of this. And looks like that goes there. These look like they'll be the ball hinges for the legs on the lion itself. Smaller legs on the arm lions. PTFE oil less wear. Yeah, with that little PTFE oil though, this actually might be slick enough to where the joints may not slide, or it may not stick quite as strongly. But I do have a tube of PTFE oil, the really nice stuff. Super Lube. It's the the Super Lube with PTFE. It's actually kind of hard to find because it's not like on Amazon with the rest of the Super Lube products. You actually have to order it from a supplier that can buy from like Granger, one of the big parts suppliers. And that's the section, I guess, for the head to pivot on. So yeah, we got that on. Now I need 2 of these. These are covers for the shoulder joints and a neck piece that goes right on top. There's a neck cover piece. Kind of hide the mechanics of the neck. And actually, I also I bought a second bottle of PTFE lube and sent it to Walter over at Country 3D. My Amazon stocked the small one, but Home Depot out here online does 4 ounce. That's good. I wasn't able to find it anywhere other than like one third-party supplier on Amazon. The stores around here don't have it. They just have all the other lubes. They just don't have the PTFE one. So I ordered it online and waited a week. But I sent some to Walter because Walter's pretty cool. It's fun watching his streams and some of the projects they do, like the fully 3D printed Hypercube Evo that has, instead of aluminum extrusions, actually has 3D printed extrusions, which is just, it's funny, and the machine just works. It's pretty cool. All right, come on, Red Lion. Come on, cat hair. Got 2 cats that are snoozing, thankfully. But cat hair everywhere. How stiff would that be? How stiff would which one be? Oh, the 3D printed extrusions. Surprisingly enough, he got some pretty strong extrusions printed. If you can get your layers bonded really well, don't go with super fine layers. Go with like maybe 200 micron, 250 micron layers that have a pretty good high temperature bond on them, and they turn out to be pretty strong. I printed out some long pieces, but nothing like an actual extrusion, and they've been pretty darn strong. And especially if you print them in like PETG, the PETG that I have that I bought from Amazon is just rock solid. It is tough material. But at the moment I don't have, the one printer I have functional at the moment has a Z height of 195. So I'm not going to be printing any substantially large, tall extrusion pieces. Come on, cat hair, go away. But Walter also took that 3D printed Hevo to IRF, East Coast Rep Rat Festival, and displayed it there. And when I saw Walter at MRF in March, he had his 3D printed Prusa i3 clone with, it had 3D printed extrusions on it, and it was printing along just fine. I didn't know who Walter was at the time, so when I saw it, I thought it was cool, and made a comment it was cool, and kind of moved on looking at the rest of the stuff at the show. And then, of course, I found his stream and actually saw that he's pretty entertaining guy. He's got a really good stream. Get the 2 put on there for lion number 2. And all right, let's get the rest of this guy assembled. This looks like it's just the body portion, not the head yet. Get on in there. And cool. So now we have essentially the arm, which is the upper arm here, and the lower arm, the forearm. And there's connectors on the sides that the legs will go into, and a bird just flew into my sliding glass door. Not going to do that one again anytime soon, are you? So yeah, there's the first portion of the body of the red lion. Oh, get that blue piece squished down nice and tight. The head will go on here, the legs will go on the side, tail will go on there, and this will get plugged right in to the side. And then there's an elbow joint. And let's see what's next. Yeah, I have the hypercube finished. Yeah, my hypercube is sitting there. I actually ordered another control board for it, and I picked up a better 24 volt power supply for it. I'm just waiting on the control board, which should arrive Monday, and I want to start putting that back together again here real quick. And here's the tail piece. And the arm lions have shorter tails. Well, I wonder how those fold up. Maybe they just fold back like that. And then there is an extra ball Which, yeah, if any of the joints start to wear out, I do have some extra ball joint pieces that I can put in. Yes, it is a Duet. I picked up a base Duet 5 driver, no extra add-ons or fancy stuff. I want to play with it because I haven't really played with the Duet much, other than on other people's printers. And I really want to play with the Duet, and the Marlin 2.0 that's in development does support the hardware that's on the Duet, and I'd like to play around with that as well, because the RepRap firmware stuff that most people are using with the Duets and their hypercubes, it's pretty neat. It prints pretty well for the most part. But I'm not terribly interested in it at the moment. I really like playing with Marlin. And I'm really interested in making, contributing at least in some way to making sure Marlin 2.0 becomes more popular, more people start using 32-bit boards, because I think it's a fantastic idea. Mario says, I need to get around to ordering a 24-volt and 32-bit controller from my X5S. Yeah, the X5S is a surprisingly decent platform mechanically. Dustin had his out and he was playing with it, and I really liked the concept, the build, the way everything was put together. Although it's not the strongest, most robust thing, I like the idea, and that's kind of the idea. The X5S is the idea that set me off on looking at the Hypercube and the Hypercube Evo, and that's pretty neat. So yeah, so I guess we'll move on to the second bag, which is bag 13 for the Red Lion, which should finish off the legs and the head for the Red Lion. And how's my stream time look? So it looks like I've been going for an hour 48 so far. That's not bad. Spending about an hour finishing up the Black Lion, less than an hour working on the arm for the Red Lion. That's not too bad. I think I was on stream last night for close to 4 hours, or 3.5 hours, and that was pretty much just getting the 2 legs done, the Yellow Lion, the Blue Lion, and starting on the Black Lion. And it got really late, and everybody here was interested in going to bed, which was a good idea. Got some good sleep. All right. Yeah, it's not bad at all. We have some kits that have taken days to build, even with the 2 of us. There's the Lego Ninjago movie, and tied to that movie were an awful lot of sets, and one of the largest modular style sets that they've got, we have it. It's actually sitting up on a shelf or on a bookcase, and it's the Lego Ninjago City modular, and it's got, if you want to go look it up on lego.com, Mario, it is awesome. It's huge. It's like 4 level plus. The bottom level actually has a dock area with water, and there are little tiny blue translucent pieces for the water, and there's just so many of them that makes the water kind of shimmer. Looks really, really cool. But there's like a comic book shop, there's a functional ATM, restaurants, a movie theater. The top has a sushi restaurant with a sushi carousel. There's just so many things in this, just in this one. There's even a cherry tree, a cherry blossom tree growing out of one of the buildings. And it's a really beautiful kit. The movie was kind of fun, but like the just building the kit itself was really fun. And they just released a few weeks ago, my wife and I went on Habs on the expansion for it that expands it out with more dock area and more shops, and it's almost as big a kit as the original. And the thing has to weigh like, I swear it weighs like 10 or 12 pounds. It's heavy, just huge.
All right, where was I? Let's get back to this. And there's a duck in the pond. There's a pond right behind our apartment complex. It's really nice. It's one of the reasons I picked this specific apartment, because we can actually look out and there's trees and a little pond out there, and there's ducks out there all the time, and they're hilarious ducks. Every now and then you'll hear one just start quacking away like he's cracking up at a joke. He's just he's probably just angry at something that's going on, but you know, angry at another duck, but he is just, it sounds hilarious. Oh, and these cap pieces, I really like these round cap pieces that go on the ends of the legs. They've got a nice metallic decal on them. Looks really cool. Did you see that set, Mario? That Lego Ninjago City set? Like, it's insane. And that took us days to build, and that's nice. I like actually taking the time to build it, go through that process. Last time when I moved from California to Seattle, we had to break down all of our Lego sets, and of course we broke them down into bags, put them back in their boxes, and once we got here, got some display cases and went through the process of building them up again. It's really fun to actually just go through the process of, you know, you sit down. I put this table in front of the couch. We had the Legos on it. Both of us were sitting here, my wife and I, and watching Netflix, watching movies, building Legos. You know, just it's a nice way to spend a weekend. Yep, it's absolutely insane, and I want it. Yes, yes, it is. It's expensive too. It's like a $349 kit, I think. Maybe it's $399. It is a huge kit. And some friends of ours too, who live pretty close by, actually have the gigantic Lego 299. Okay, that's not bad. Actually, that sounds like less than we bought it for. They might have dropped the price. Nope. And it wants me to do that leg twice over. So we'll go ahead and do that again. It's gonna be the front right and the rear left legs. So the legs on the front and rear legs on the lions, the arm lions are pretty similar, very small. You still want the ship in a bottle. Oh, ship in a bottle, right? That's another one of the ideas sets. Where did I put that? Yeah, you can hate on me. I have the ship in the bottle kit as well. The ship is actually secured on the inside there. Let's see if I can get that in camera frame. The ship is secured inside. And there's a bunch of clear dot pieces that are the water. Yeah, and they float around on the inside, and it just looks really nice. This was one of the smaller, cheaper kits in comparison. It is a really cool kit. And also here, this is the, let's see if I can get that on there, the Tron Light Cycle kit. From Tron Legacy. And it's got the little flag pieces used as flags on other things, but they're just molded in clear plastic to match the color of the car, or color of the vehicle. And it's actually got, like the orange one here has like Rinsler as the driver. The blue one has Sam, the character, and there's also a Korra minifig that comes with it who's got swords. So yeah, that one's pretty cool as well. I just really, I really love what they're doing with Lego ideas. They're coming up with some kits that they might not have thought about otherwise. All right, let's get the rest of this put together. Get this leg going. Yeah, surprisingly, like, and for the ship in a bottle kit too, they thankfully they put all the water, the little water uh, bits into a single bag that you hold on to it until the very end. Once everything is pretty much built up, except for the bottle being completely stuck together, the ship inside it and everything, the very end you just take it and just pour it in. Careful not to actually get it inside the ship, because if it gets inside the ship, it's sitting on top of the ship and it's kind of hard to get it out. And then put the two halves of the bottle pieces together and shake it around so that the water kind of sits around the bottom, and it looks really neat. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, so I've got the second leg piece done. There's a front right piece, leg piece here, and then an identical version of it goes on the rear left, and those leg designs work out. And of course they'll fold up like that when not in use. So I've got those out, and now it's probably going to have me jump over and do the opposite sides. Yep, the opposite sides are the same thing, they're just mirrored versions. And it's going to have me make two of them, so I'm going to go ahead and just build these in parallel. Boom, boom. So Mario, do you have any other Lego kits? Like, what are your kits, the ones you have, the ones you really like that you've got? Get those put on. Did I lose Mario? Maybe I lost Mario. How many viewers do I have? Oh, not many. My latest edition was the BB-8 kit. It's a lot better than the movie it's from. Yeah. I saw the BB-8 kit and it kind of looked neat, but gosh, those movies make me mad. So I have not bought the BB-8 kit. I don't expect to either. Okay, so we'll get these leg pieces done. And pop those guys right onto the body. So now he's got at least the upper portions of the legs done. Those look pretty cool. And now we're going to do the paws for all of those. Okay, so that side, and that side. We can get some mirrored pieces to deal with. And these four triangular plates will form the basis of the feet. With the claws on each of them. And then there's a joint piece that goes on. That's the joint that'll connect to the upper portions of the legs that I just finished. And the L-shaped brackets. The L-shaped brackets will lock those down, give them a little bit of reinforcement. Yeah, a little bit of reinforcement there, that's not bad. So now we have these foot pieces for both the left and right side with the claws on them. And those will get attached like so. Strangely enough, like here's the red lion, and the connection points, the little connector pins that connect it to the shoulder on the black lion are right underneath in the crotch area. That is fantastic. So he's got a little black peg sticking out right from under between his legs. Somebody thought about that one. Probably going to be making a trip to the Lego store in September for the Hogwarts Castle kit. I saw that kit when we went out and bought the Ninjago City expansion. They had it in a display case all set up, and it is a sizable kit, and it has dozens of micro figs, little teeny tiny figs. And looking at it, like actually seeing it assembled sitting there, the price tag kind of, you're like, yeah, that's kind of neat, but I don't want to pay $3.99 for that. It is really expensive for what it is. And since it's on the microfig scale, it's it's got limited playability with the rest of the stuff. You can't like take the Lego Harry Potter minifig characters and put it in there because they're they're giant scale. All right, so I got the feet done. Looks like we'll be moving on to the head, and I'll form the head. And I like that the jaws on the lions articulate, and they have a function. They look nice. They open up. The jaws on the actual mouthpieces. This is the lower jaw here, and there's a socket which the sword and shield stuff sockets into that are in the mouth of the arm lions. Yeah, that's definitely a hard part in justifying for sure. Just so much money It's good for the collector, I think, but it's less of a playable set. Where's my... Okay, so got those built up. Put the second neck joint on top of there. And we'll get the upper fangs in place. You can see the how the jaw and the fangs start coming into being. And we'll start getting a lot of these pieces for the head, the red head on. And there is a silver piece for the nose that will go on eventually. It's starting to take shape as a head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, got those on. We'll get the eyes. The eyes are yellow. The eyes are yellow for just about everything except for the yellow lion, where the eyes are blue. This is a contrast piece. All right, so we got that on. We will get silver nose on, this silver crest piece, a little silver square on the back. So you can see now the center portion of the head. I should have my damn microphone on, shouldn't I? The center portion of the head still got to build up like the cheek side portions. Looks pretty cool. All right, see you, Mario. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And that looks like a cheek piece. Yep, that is a cheek. Nope, actually looks like I forgot a piece. One of those there and one of those there. And then you put the cheek piece on. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So now there's the cheek for the opposite side, and that's pretty much most of the head built up. Pretty darn cool. And let's see, we'll get some of the, I guess, the ears. Yep. The red ears, those stick out just a tad. And then the rest is spare parts. So yeah, there we go. There's the head with the red ears, and we'll get that attached right on up. And it does flex a bit, has a bit of flex in it. And there's the red lion, lion number 2 for the right arm. In fact, now that I've got him here, I'm going to fold him up. Oops. Does that? Yeah. I'm sure there's limits on the fold that they want you to do. There's a separate instruction book at the very end of this build that is just an instruction book for how to put the lines together and how to move everything, how to set everything up. So, and I'm just kind of folding this up how it looks like it could go to me. And we'll get the tail folded down, so now it looks a bit more like an arm. And there's the connector pieces there that slot in, and now we have... Try not breaking pieces off. And now we have Voltron's arm. Red lion, right arm, and a couple of spare pieces, just the standard small bits. Get those put away, and red lion done. That's book 4. Book 5 is the green lion, which it's going to be pretty much a mirror clone with some different detail parts, just a small lion as well. And that's going to be bags 14, bags 15. We'll get those ready here. Start off with bag 14. Let's see if we can nail this one down in less than an hour. All right. Yep. Very similar. Very similar base part, which is this is the section we're building up to where the green lion will anchor. It'll be the shoulder piece that anchors into the black lion. And the build starts off exactly the same as the red lion does. And a couple of blues with these anchor. And these end up being the ball sockets that the legs go into later on. There's also a set for the front legs that we'll just pop in right now and set aside for later. So we'll get to those. So those are built up the same way. All right, so now we have the hip joints in, and we'll start building up the rest of the anchor portion. Get another green piece right on top to lock it in place. And then now we come to the part where it starts to differ a little bit. The green lion is a bit more rounded than the red lion. They each have kind of their styles, but the build is essentially the same overall. This one's just going to use more angular pieces on the back. This kind of rounded body. And we'll get the other anchor piece in. That's a good start. Ah, yes, the green bars. Yellow bars. And that becomes the pivot point for the waist/elbow. And we'll get that dropped in. Throw in a couple of these little angle bracket pieces that will later be used to hold on some detail. Hold on some smooth bricks for detail. A couple of flat pieces right on top of those to pretty up that joint, make it all nice and smooth. And now here are the detail pieces. I'll do 2 of these, each with 2 smooth plates. Where are the rest of my smooth plates? There's 1, there's 2. And these are the detail that go on the sides, where the hips sit. Okay, so now I've got those on. Now I need to flip this over and start plugging in all the rest of these pieces and the connector for the tail. A couple of smooth flat greens to clean up the surface a little bit. And then we have a flat panel right on top to make that nice and smooth, and a little curved panel. That looks cool. And now we got to put in the ball joints for the friction for the waist. Whoop. Hello, goodbye. Yeah, I was actually, I tweeted out that I was going to stream this last night, and Joe Mike actually commented on the tweet, and he thought it was pretty cool. I don't think he'd seen it before. I tagged him on today's tweet that I was going to go streaming live, but he's got a kid, so he's definitely busy now. Although I did record, or I am recording this with the VOD, so he might be able to watch it later if he wants. Okay, so we've got, that's the rear section going. And we'll go ahead and go with the front section. Red piece, green piece, red piece, rounded piece. And these rounded pieces end up holding the neck joint. And we'll go pop a plate on top. Thicken the body up a little bit. And 2 of those pieces, 1 of those pieces. And we're getting the second neck joint in there, or second waist joint. And wrap some green around that to make it look all nice and pretty. And then the front shoulder joints that I'd put together previously, and the front head piece, or the front neck anchor piece. I got those in place. Pop in the actual ball joint for the neck flex. And now we go, oh, interesting. Okay, so there's some odd bits going on here. Around the neck area to kind of solidify, like put more green body into it. And then now we got some green bars. Now we're going to start capping this off. The protective covers for each of the hinges. And a couple of green dots to round that out. Okay. Oh yeah, and a white plate that goes right in the middle. I have no idea why there's a white plate in there. It gets covered and disappears. Maybe they had a bunch of parts that they just wanted to get rid of. And that does fit the bill and fill the hole. All right, now we get to flip you over and start popping in these angled pieces to round out the underside of the front torso. And flip it back over and start plugging away at more pieces on the top. This thing is really substantially thick. And then this funky piece. And some more bits to round out the front to make it look nice and rounded and smooth. This is at the front of the torso there. It's got a nice round shape to it. I'll clean up some more of that. Interesting shoulder pieces, shoulder fender pieces. Not sure I really like those. They're not on super tight. They're only on with two nubs. And we'll get the sticker on for the number 3. Get that in place. And connect it to the rear portion of the body. And what's left over amounts to being the tail. So now there's a short tail piece and one little leftover mini bit. And now all the stickers are done. We are now on to bag 15, which is the last bag for the Green Lion. After I finish this bag, bag 16 is VOLTRON Sword and Shield, which should be pretty quick builds. Now let's get these legs built up, legs and head built up quick. Okay, and it looks like the legs are built. Legs on the Green Lion are built the same way as they are built on the Red Lion. So we'll go ahead and start pulling out the parts that go for those legs. And kind of start building them up simultaneously. 1, 2, 3, where's the fourth one? There it is, there's the fourth one. So same way, we'll have 2 on that side and we'll have 2 that are mirrored. So now we have these base pieces, and it wants me to work with this side. And we got the hip connectors, which are these ball pieces that go the opposite direction there. Along with the little spacer piece that goes in each of them. Yeah, this should be pretty quick. Now I've got the spacer piece in. There's going to be a joint on the end of each one. Those are universal. And a 3-long piece to help round out the structure and get the structure solid. On top of that 3-piece goes the other cover brackets. And there we go. So now I've got those put together, and now essentially, wow, I dropped a piece on the floor. That is the first drop I've had of this build that made it to the floor at least. So we've got that in place. We've got that one in place. Yeah, just about done with these upper legs, and that's only taken a few minutes. Okay, there it is. There's an angled piece for me. And the round cap with little decals. Nice shiny decals on the hinge joint there. And now I need to build the leg extensions for each of those, which is literally just 2 hinge pieces stuck together, facing opposite directions, real easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and those snap right on to each piece. Pretty straightforward. And now I've got, what do we have? Those are the other legs, and this here, yes, is the right rear and the left front. And the right front and left rear. They're just mirror images all the way around. That's a pretty quick build for the legs. And now same paws as before, so we'll get the paw pieces out. There's a front pair, there's a rear pair, and claws for each of them. And these claws, these feet are built up exactly the same way as the other lion, so that's easy enough. Hinge piece on each one with the hinge at the top. and then an L-shaped bracket to hold it all together, or an L-shaped plate. So there's the foot. There's all 4 feet. And then go with the fat end of the claw sticking outward so that they can tuck up alongside the body. And there's all 4 feet. And now the green lion stands on his own. Now we just need to finish the head, and I'll form another head. And this head looks like it's built up exactly the same as the red lion's head. So that's easy enough. I'm sure there'll be some small detail differences at the end, but this core looks exactly the same. Nine minutes down on these legs and head. That's not too bad. It's certainly a lot easier to go faster on the second one where you know where the first one went. And of course, yellow eyes that go across the top. Yeah, this is built almost identical to the red lion. Yeah, up until this point where I've got the silver on for the nose and the core of the head, it is identical to the red lion. The cheeks, the way the cheeks are built up are different. And that looks like what I'm going to get into next. Yeah, there's some gold pieces and some angle, some rounded corners on the cheek. And yeah, they're built up a little differently, but not a whole lot. Just a tiny bit of detail difference. Oh, those are gray. There is that one, and we'll go and build the second one there. Yeah, the cheek is similar, just a tiny bit different. There's like an accent detail. On the red lion, there's a nub on the side of the cheek, and on this one, there's nothing on the side of this cheek, but there's a gold nub below. So that's the detail difference. Cheek on, and then the 2 ears. And the ears are identical to the red lion. They're just a couple of stands with a couple of angled green pieces that pop up. And there is the completed green lion head. And of course its mouth is a pin socket for either a sword or a shield. And now we've got that attached. So now we have a completed green lion, and there's one little tiny detail piece left, just a little stud. So that's cool. Let's see if I can squeeze this guy together and get the green lion attached to the main body. And we'll fold the tail down. And now we'll get this monster. Oh, gosh, that's cool. It's kind of cathartic to get in there. To get all of the lions put together. And you can see he's attached just like the rest of them. Oh, that is so cool. He's huge too, like ginormous. So that's the end of the Green Lion book, and now the final book is the sword, the shield, and detail that go along with it. So I'm going to set that one right up there so you guys can see that. And bag 16 is a small bag. That will go by really quick. It's a small part count bag. Ah, coffee. It is 17.7 inches, so it is almost a foot and a half. Yeah, it's just about a foot and a half. I'm sure if you actually took the wings, the red wings, and pointed them straight up, it's over a foot and a half. And let's see. Yeah, when they're angled correctly, it's 17.7 inches, 450 millimeter. 220 millimeters wide at the base of the feet, which is 8.6 inches. So close to getting done on this. That's awesome. And the other question is, where the hell am I going to put him? I'll figure that out later. The important stuff is getting it built, right? Who cares where it's going to go? It's going to go on my nightstand. That's where it's going to go. Get some of those third-party LED pieces and like light up the eyes different colors and just like tie it to an alarm with an Arduino or something. Wake up, Voltron's going to kill you. Get out of bed. That is mildly entertaining. So yeah, the last book is it's a larger book. It's physically larger. It's got like story detail stuff in it about the characters, and these are all based on the original characters from the original Go Lion TV series. Oh, and there's a picture of the actual guy who created it. And that is Leandro Tayag. He's a fan designer. Where is he? He lives in the Philippines, or he's from the Philippines, lives in Malaysia. And quite a few different sizes and implementations, all the way down to a teeny tiny thing, were run through. Different iterations. And quite honestly, none of them are quite as nice as the final design. Although you can see towards his final two designs, there's a lot of similarities in the pieces. Yeah, this guy did put in work, and there are a lot of fans that literally dedicate themselves to coming up with the coolest pieces. Somebody built a 70,000 piece Super Star Destroyer that was a custom build for a client, and it was just massive and perfectly detailed, but it was like 6 or 7 feet long. And of course there's a team here up in the documentation, a 5-person team from Lego that actually kind of helped take the project along. A model designer, graphic designer, building instructions developer, model design coach, and a design lead. To take the idea and bring it all the way into fruition. And the same instruction, or the same storyline stuff in French as well. It's a North American package. Force Lego, allons-y. Allons-y, yeah. Oh, and it's in Spanish as well. Cool, now that we're 26 pages in, we finally get to the instructions on putting together. It looks like we're starting with the shield. So I will get the shield nailed out. There's lots of small pieces that are going in on this one. There's the last one of those, and now we have these corner pieces. So now we've got the star pattern in place, and these black round pieces will lock all that down. Well, you have 2 viewers here. Oh, my son caught me watching, and he loves Lego. I was more of a K'NEX fan as a kid. K'NEX is pretty cool too. I've had quite a few different types of toys. Lego, K'NEX, Construx. Construx was really cool. Capsella. I had a set or 2 of Capsella. Those sets were kind of neat. Oh, all right, that's really shiny. Ooh, shiny. Hopefully your son is enjoying watching this build. He can see how big just the Voltron is. It is really, really huge. Really cool looking. And super damn... Well, actually this kit wasn't super expensive. It was only like 180 US dollars. Not quite as expensive as some other kits. Tell him if he likes it to save up his money. Start mowing lawns. Ooh, that's cool looking. Center of the shield. All right, let's see. A couple other pieces. A long... Looks like we'll get that... Wait, how? Okay. Flip that over and pop that on that side, it looks like. Yeah. Yeah, actually that looks like the connector portion. There's a post there that's the same, that can likely be utilized for actually holding onto the shield. Hey DeRusso, long time no see, man. How's the wife? Any kids yet? What is this? Is this Batman? No, this is not Batman. Dude. This is Lego Voltron. It is huge, and all the lions separate. They are completely independent and functional and transform. We can go out afterwards. I'm getting pretty close to the end. I'm on the sword and shield.
Yeah, I can see that.
And we'll get an extension piece here. It's a long piece that we'll clip in. This is what actually what the lion will hold on to. This longer piece will fit in the lion's mouth. It's got a little holder. My wife is next to me and you asked that. She said, we good? No. That's good. We don't have any either. We have no kids. That's why we can afford Legos and all the other toys. Good move. Wow, yeah, I screwed up. No, we'll pop this piece right back off. Where's my puller? I actually had it rotated 90 degrees. It should be perpendicular to the split in these pieces. You got a giant ass cookie today. A giant ass cookie or a giant ass cookie? The context there depends on how you say those words, where the emphasis is. A 2-pound cookie. Holy crap, dude. I can't eat cookies. I'm on a ketogenic diet, which is good because it's actually helping me lose weight without exercising, which is fantastic. But I can't eat things like cookies. So I have to settle for bacon instead. And boy, I love bacon. Oh, that's getting really super shiny. That's so cool. And now I've got these shiny metal plates, little triangles that I need to attach to, where's the other triangle? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's right there facing me. Hi, kitty cat. Nope, can't play right now. So we will get these set, and those go on just like that. That's pretty cool. Who doesn't love bacon? Oh yeah, vegans. Sucks to be them. That's one great thing about this diet. It's essentially 0 carb to get you to stop burning easy carbs and start burning fat, since there are no carbs available. And yeah, you do eat a lot of fat and focus on a lot of fat primarily. And surprisingly enough, I've sucked down so much bacon that, yeah, I've sucked down a lot of bacon. And I've lost 20 pounds. I wanted it a week ago, and then she saw it in the store, and it was huge. But it's right there. I see it. It's right in the store. So there's the shield, and the shield is super shiny, metallic pieces, really cool. And of course, there's a post on the back. And we'll go ahead and we will make Voltron left-handed with his shield in the right. Because I'm left-handed and all you right-handed people are weird. So yeah, now there's the shield. And that looks really cool. And we'll get right on to getting this sword put together. Of course, after I get this all assembled, that'll most likely be the end of the stream, and I need to go get some lunch. We got it. Best $8. $8 for 2 pounds of cookie. I suppose that's not so bad. Oy. Okay. 8 piece goes underneath. Flip that bad boy over. And we'll get these. Yeah, this sword is pretty cool too. It comes out with a pretty large, fat top end on it. Woohoo, another lefty. Yeah, definitely another lefty. I don't think I have any Makita tools that I use regularly, so I can't tell. I don't know if there's that much of a problem with them. But most of the tools I have, I make sure I hold them and play with them first to make sure that they're functional, they feel right in my hand. I think my cordless drill is a Black & Decker, and it's ambidextrous, so that one works out pretty well. I've been busy. I mean, I got a job at the end of last year, and I work for Microsoft. which is, it's a lot of work. I went through just 2 months of training when I started that job, providing enterprise level premier support to large customers and their Exchange environments, migrating to Exchange Online with Office 365, and it's a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff involved in that, and I've just been really busy. And of course, Dustin hasn't been streaming a lot. Congrats, thank you. Dustin hasn't been streaming a lot, so there hasn't been a lot of people like involved on stream. It's just been kind of like, hey, we're doing our own things now, a little bit here and there. And honestly, I just kind of got bored lately and wanted to do some projects and started doing some electronics projects, some 3D printing stuff. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do these projects anyways. I might as well just turn on the camera and just start filming it and start having people join in. And, you know, I've had a couple of people join. It's not too bad. So these angled pieces, get the hilt of the sword built up. You haven't streamed since March. Wow. Yeah. And actually, I streamed a couple of times, like way back, but nothing super special. And then like the last 2 weeks, I've been streaming just about every other day. And it's just, you know, it's just my own stuff. And I'm really trying to get this done because I am kind of hungry. Excuse me. Oh, and a couple of silver bits. There's a piece that goes. Nope, I screwed up. That one doesn't go there. That goes one up. There's a blue piece that goes there. So now we've got silver. A couple angled pieces towards the center. This sword is getting, you blew up a CPU, motherboard, and GPU back in March. Oh, fuck that. That sucks. So the sword's getting built, and it's actually got a shiny metallic piece towards the center. Okay, so those in place, those in place. And what else? We've got these funky shaped angular pieces. Interesting. Those look pretty cool. One blue square in the upper middle, along with a pyramid piece, a couple of red dots. Within 30 days of getting those parts. So does that mean you actually were within the return window and got to return those parts? Get replacements? I would have been all over that. Hey, you guys sent me faulty parts. What's going on? Send them back to the manufacturer. The retailer doesn't get... what am I thinking for lunch? I don't know what we're thinking for lunch. We had Ezel's Chicken, which is a fried chicken chain up here in the Northwest that they make really effing good chicken. Like really, really good chicken. And I don't know what we're going to do today. Okay, let's see. 2 of those bracket pieces, and now I got to start the fins because the sword has these really cool flanged fins that stick out. We'll get those plugged in. Get those hanging off the back. Whatever it is, I mean, it's got to be keto friendly, so no buns, no tortillas. There is an In-N-Out style burger place not too far up the street. One of their burgers is very similar to an In-N-Out burger, but not exactly the same. It's about as close as I can get up here. And they do it protein style where it's wrapped in lettuce, and that's pretty good. The downside to that place is they are easily 2 to 2.5 times the price of In-N-Out for the same type of burgers. And it's just ridiculous. Ooh, boy, that the handle on that one sticks out quite a bit. Oh, that's so cool. So I'll build up the rest of this. We'll go that there, that, get on there. There's a round piece that goes in the center. Oh. And as soon as I put this stuff together, I will absolutely hold it up for the camera. So that is the VOLTRON sword, and it's got a little shield there, the hand guard, and that is pretty darn cool. Yeah, protein style does sound good right now. And this place up the street, the good thing about it, you know, aside from being super expensive, that downside, the good thing is that like the double burger, the meat is good, the cheese is good. It's good quality ingredients. They're just really expensive, and I'm used to being able to get the exact same thing from In-N-Out in California for less. Okay, so how do we do that? Is there another connector piece? Yeah, so that actually is the end of the build. The rest of the instructions are how to fold up the actual, fold up the model itself. Okay, come on, we'll do... essentially, you pull out one center round piece, and that becomes... This will anchor into the lion's mouth. So that the sword looks like it's in the hand. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. There is the giant sword. Return window and warranty. Got them at Micro Center and they took them back and gave me the same parts, are better for $10 more. Yeah, see, that's cool. It's nice to have that Micro Center. That's Tustin orange. Unfortunately, there's no Micro Center up here, and I'm used to being able to go to the one down there. So yeah, that's cool. That's like, this is the entire design. All the lines separate. In fact, I'll pull off one of the legs to show you. It pulls off, like the original 80s toy, there's the foot for the black lion that goes straight into the back of the leg lions. And of course the foot folds up when it goes back into the black lion goes into its regular stance. There's that. Yes, it is huge. It's 18 inches, 1.5 feet. And also the leg lions, they have this locking mechanism so that the actual heads rotate. There's a full-on, like, there's a rubber bumper on the bottom that's a Lego tire that helps act as a heel and then like an anchor at the bottom to keep the entire model set up. And there's the lion transformed. For the legs and the arms, to transform them back into regular lions, all you have to do is you're moving pieces. There is one caveat with the black lion. For the black lion, to transform him into the torso and to the lion and back, you have to pop off his legs and his shoulders and rotate them either 90 degrees or 180 degrees, depending on the leg, to put them in the regular lion mode. And that's not so bad, considering some of the designs that the iterations this guy went through. The way they've done this design is really cool. In fact, since I'm done with that, I'm going to take a couple pictures and post them up to Twitters. Up to the Twitters. Yeah, get some tweets out here for these. Camera, take a picture, dude. Lego Voltron is gigantic. And of course now I got to put the leg back on to get a picture of him standing up. But that's easy enough. They transform pretty darn easy. The motherboard was the hardest issue because they said there were bent pins and thermal paste on it, so when there wasn't any. So corporate said I could get the same one in the next model up for $10. Next model was $240 more. Yeah, that's not so bad, right? So yeah, I'm gonna pop the neck joint here, rotate that, and it snaps into place really nicely. And then fold the legs up. And legs fold up just like the original toy for the most part. And there's a little section of heel that sticks out in the back that helps provide some additional balance when it's in the full robot mode. And I can get that foot plug right back into the yellow lion's butt and connected right up. And it's actually, they're pretty steady. I mean, it's a solid piece, solid lion. And the arm joints flex really well. And go ahead and get a picture of, let's add another photo, would we? Oh, it's so huge. Back up just a tad. And it's done. Live streamed Lego Ideas Voltron build. Get that posted. PSU popped. Yeah, that's the downside. If the PSU pops in the wrong way, everything attached to it can get loaded, which is really unfortunate. Wow, looks like I got a lot of responses on Twitter. Wait, what? I said Chick-fil-A is not that good on one of Japman's posts, and my brother's Mario said, you take that back. I would take it back if I was just talking out of my ass and had never eaten at a Chick-fil-A before, but there was one next to my office, my old job, and I had gone over there, and honestly, it was never that impressive, which, I mean, it's unfortunate. I like chicken as much as the next person. Okay, so, well, checking out the Twitters. Shut up and take my money, Joe Mike says. He really likes that one. Is there something wrong with Chick-fil-A that you can't have it? Or is it a moral thing? Because the original, the guy who founded that was a complete dickhead. And yeah, I can definitely hold that against a company. But he's gone now. He's dead now. Fried in peanut oil. Ah, peanut. Yeah. That's definitely a bad choice. Peanut oil is pretty good now and then for some cooking things, but you know, just go with straight canola oil or straight corn oil. For the oils we have, we usually have corn oil on hand, and corn oil, coconut oil, And lots of bacon fat. Oh my gosh, bacon fat's so awesome. Okay, so yeah, got that posted up to the Twitter. And I think I'm about done with the stream. I need to go find some food. I am hungry. Thanks, Bent. Thanks. Are you about done, mate? Omnoms await. Yeah, Omnoms are waiting. Thanks, Bent. Thanks, DeRusso, for hanging out. Thanks, Mario, for coming in. Thanks for everybody else that came in and didn't talk. Catching me on the stream. This is kind of nice. I'm still working on getting my streaming setup changed to something that's not the dining room table. I have some ideas on that to make it a little bit nicer. Maybe get a green screen later. Yeah, it puts you in the hospital. Yeah, that's the problem with peanut. It's hard for customers. There's so many customers that are just allergic to peanut flat out. Yeah, so thanks guys for hanging out. Have a good eating. I'm gonna go get some food.